True story. I don't think you can call yourself a real American until you've been behind the wheel of a recreational vehicle. Many summers ago, my wife and I decided to take our, at the time, very young family on a trip from Michigan to Cooperstown, New York to see the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, our mode of transportation was going to be a recreational vehicle that we were going to rent from Lloyd's Travel Land, where the motto was, travel with Lloyd. I knew Lloyd. Wouldn't want to go anywhere with him, but that's another story. Lloyd very proudly showed me around a lot, all recreational vehicles you can imagine. We settled on a 28-foot Jayco. Lloyd very proudly escorted me into this palace on wheels and proceeded to show me how to work the generator and the hot water and how to slide out, slid out to sleep 6 comfortably. And he tossed me the keys and said, "Good luck, Chief." And I was about a mile down the road when I realized that nobody told me how to drive this damn thing. And driving a recreational vehicle is a little bit like driving this building. So the next time you're out on the interstate and you see a senior citizen, give him room. Pretty good chance he is in a white knuckle situation. Now, despite my wife's Upper Peninsula upbringing, she is not a camper. She filled every nook and cranny of that 28-foot Jayco with enough snacks to feed the state of Ohio. Not to mention mittens and parkas and gloves and scarves. I said, "Honey, it's July." Down the road we went, turned left at Toledo, and after about 7 hours of very tense driving, my wife informed me that we were going to be staying at a Best Western. I said, "Honey, but the 28-foot Jayco sleeps 6 comfortably," and then I got a look, and those of you who are married know what the look is. And 2 exits later, found myself pulling into the parking lot of the Best Western, where I spent most of my evening looking out one of 2 adjoining windows down into the parking lot at my 28-foot Jayco, full of snacks. The next morning, bright and early, we got up, not speaking. Down the road we went. It was at this point that I realized that a 28-foot Jayco full of snacks is going to get about 1.8 miles to the gallon. So I pulled into a truck stop in Erie, Pennsylvania, got out, started gassing up my vehicle when I heard a voice behind me say, "Excuse me, sir, but are you the guy that was in the movie with all them ducks?" I said, "That's right. Jeff Bridges, right?" "That's right." "You mind if I get your autograph, Mr. Bridges?" "No problem." So I signed an autograph to a toothless truck driver who likes movies about ducks. Best wishes, Jeff Bridges. Topped off my chain, jumped back into my 28-foot Jayco, pulled out of that truck stop, started merging up onto the highway when my son tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Dad, where's Mom?" I said, "Son, do not screw with me at this moment. I'm driving a building." And then my daughter, whom I trust, said, "No, Dad, she's not here." Now, those of you who are married have some idea of just how much trouble I was in. This goes way beyond, "Oops, I forgot." Then my son said, "Dad, just call her on her cell phone." I said, "There you go, thinking again." So I dialed up her number and we all listened to her cell phone ring in the seat next to us. Meanwhile, back at the truck stop, my wife is coming out of the food mart with 2 bags of snacks. Sees the 28-foot Jayco merging up onto the highway and then does something that to this day we cannot understand. She starts chasing us. right between the eyes and says, "Follow that Jaco." They pull out of that truck stop, start merging up onto the highway. She's sobbing, "Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ." Young man looks at her, reaches across her lap, opens the glove compartment, and pulls out an audio tape of some priest analyzing the Lord's Prayer. That's right, a theology major on his way back to Princeton. How lucky was she? Hands her the tape, says, "Here, he will help you." Down the road they go. Unfortunately, the 28-foot Jaco's found an exit, doubling back, yes, like ships passing in the night. Next thing I know, I'm back at the truck stop. I get out and start to look for where one might, well, leave a wife. In my case, I start in the snack department. And then I do something that to this day we cannot understand. I call home. I thought she might be there. I don't know. Our house sitter answers. She said, she just called. She's at the rest area, 30 miles up the road. Here's the number of the payphone. I called the payphone. She answered on 1/16 of a ring before she could utter a word. I said, "Do me a favor, just stay there." 30 miles later, the 28-foot Jacob pulls into that rest area, and I watch this young theology major escort my wife across the parking lot, and he is looking at me with disdain and an air of arrogance that will serve him well in the priesthood. He literally hands me my wife and says, "You really should hang on to this one." Oh, shut up. Now the kids have been instructed upon entering the 28-foot Jaco, no matter what my wife says or does, they are not to laugh. So for 35 minutes we listened to her side of this epic misadventure, with a lot of biting of lips and staring out at the Pennsylvania countryside. Her little diatribe culminates with a remark about how the casting of Dumb and Dumber somehow seems appropriate. In Cooperstown, we are the only family to see every single exhibit holding hands. Several months later, I found myself out promoting a movie, and as was sometimes the case, I ended up on the David Letterman show. Now, I liked doing Dave's show. Walked out on the stage of the Ed Sullivan Theater, sat in the chair next to Dave. Red light went on over the camera, meant millions of people be watching. And Dave turned to me and he said, "How was your summer? Do anything interesting?" I proceeded to tell Dave all about the recreational vehicle wherein I held my wife gold.